Hi family, thank you for joining in again. In today's sit down video, we're going to talk a little bit about why I no longer take things personal. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I do not take things personal anymore, but I hold space to allow myself to feel whatever I need to feel in a moment. Even if it's not a real feeling. I know it sounds a little weird, but the reality is this. We all have our own worlds, our own virtual reality, our own perceptions, our own perspectives, and so on. And a lot of what we do is project or displace what we see in our virtual reality, what makes most sense to us, onto other people, which can sometimes cause people to feel like something is wrong with them. Maybe they're off, maybe what they have been taught has been a lie, and all these other things. So it's a way to communicate your differences without projecting or displacing your opinions, because that's all it is. It's your perspective. It's how you see something, how you interpret something. And instead of us just giving it to someone else, how do we usher the moment? So we'll get to that in a little bit. I have spent lots of years of my life moving from one experience to the other, taking something, right? We don't want to go anywhere where we're not receiving anything, because I truly believe that my place here on this earth is to give. And if everybody sees life that way, then we're all giving each other something. A lot of what I was giving out in my life were things that other people gave to me that did not serve me in a present place or the person that I was giving it to. So for example, my personality is really big. I am a joker. I grew up with a household full of low budget comedians. All of my past friend groups, like, we just had this thing. So I instantly assumed, unconsciously, that everybody else in the world that I would come in contact with would think like me, be like me, have the same humor like me, and all of the things. Don't come for me. I was really young, and all of my experiences, they felt the same. They had the same things. They were very familiar. So when I finally ran into someone who was from another state, another place of the world, and other experiences, it was so much conflict. It was, if I said that I do things this way, it was kind of shone upon as if something was wrong with me. Like, I never met a woman like you. How could you say the stuff that you say? And it wasn't inviting. It wasn't something that felt good to me, but I had to sit with myself as I reflected and notice that I did the same, just not in the same way. So this person was doing a thing and it was not familiar to me. And at that time, I didn't have the level of emotional maturity as I have now. I sincerely was confused. Like, people do stuff this way? I seriously was confused. It wasn't projection as if judgment or you're wrong. It was just like, why aren't you doing this? And I wanted to know why. But the other person, in my opinion, as I reflect, they didn't want to know why. They just wanted to project because it looked wrong in their eyes because of what their experiences have been. So what I continue to do as I maneuvered through life with these people, with this person, I began to agree with everything they were saying about me that was off, and allow myself to kind of get to a place of where I didn't like myself, where I questioned myself to the point where it caused me a lot of emotional and mental distress, because I then tried to become something that I wasn't. And a lot of times when people are projecting upon us, it can look like gaslighting. And you know what gaslighting means? It kind of keeps you in a place of where you're questioning your own reality. And then you kind of trick yourself into believing what the other person is saying about you, even though it's not true. It's nothing more than a perception or a perspective or an opinion. So I began to learn more about what projection was, what displacement was, and what that looked like in my own life, and how I was the one giving it out, just not in the same sense of where it felt judgy or opinionated or hurtful. So I first had to understand that when people are talking to us or giving us their opinions about their past experiences, that is allowing us an opportunity to enter into their world, into their virtual reality. Instead of taking so much offense or agreeing with what they're saying, use the opportunity to learn something about another person, to learn their perspective, to learn what looks wrong for them based on what their life has been. It doesn't mean that you have to take on what they're saying and change your entire life to accommodate their level of comfort. Allow it to be a place of where you're learning. And if you have another person or people who are willing to walk with you in your differences and kind of curate a space of wellness, of understanding, of positivity by definition, in a place of where there's conflict resolution, it's a lot you can learn and then curate your own experiences based on experiences that you had. So I no longer take anything personal. I just don't. It's nothing for me to do because someone is simply just saying, hey, this is how I feel about something. This is what something looks like to me. A lot of times it doesn't sound like that. It doesn't feel like that. It doesn't look like that. So I had to continue to grow within myself to say how I communicate with people is what I want the experience to be for them and myself. So I started to communicate from a place of trying to seek to understand instead of being understood right away. And understanding can be as simple as you want it to be. I first understood that my experiences may not look like somebody else's experiences. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their own perception and perspective about things. And I don't have to like it. They don't have to like it. So once I got to an agreement with myself that things are gonna look different, people are gonna say things that are different, I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to like it. And I don't have to take it personal, because when we take something personal, we then agree with whatever the things are and we begin to wear the labels, wear the opinions, and change our entire life based on somebody else's reality. And that is just not the case for all of us. So I want you all to get to a place of where you seek to understand the basics of human communication. We are all so different. Our experiences, some look the same, some are way off. You meet somebody from the north and you're from the south. Oh my goodness, that is going to be a thing in itself if people aren't open-minded to learning your experiences have been, to learn what differences you have. And it's a way that you communicate. And I think a lot of times the way that people communicate with each other is a way that they communicate with themselves. So, for instance, I had always been hard on myself at one point in my life for a long time, and very negative and very dismissive to my own feelings and my own needs. So that's what I gave out. I didn't consciously know that was what I was doing. So once I figured that out, trial and error, lots of things happen in life. Again, I try to be more mindful of how I communicate, because the reality is this: I just want to know why. Introduce me to something that may be different or foreign or unfamiliar to me, and let me do the same for you. And if you can focus on trying to grow in community and communication with yourself and with others, I truly feel it will be helpful in any discomfort conversations or encounters or experiences you may have with other people in other places about other things. So we don't agree with the opinions of others. And hypothetically, there may be a situation that I run into tomorrow and somebody says something that I don't like, but I say, let me think about this because it could be beneficial to me. It's all going to depend on how I receive that information and how the person is giving it. Again, open communication. How are we communicating our differences with one another's, our perspective with one another's without saying, I never met anybody like you. Women are not supposed to do this. Men are not supposed to do this. You are not supposed to. Who are you to tell me what I'm not supposed to do? Who am I to tell somebody what they're not supposed to do? What they're doing may not be something that I am okay with doing. It doesn't mean that they have to change what they're doing. So a lot of times, again, that's what projection looks like. It's trying to get someone to live up to the expectation of your reality or your experiences. And maybe it's time to create your own experiences based on what you have already had, and just stop taking things personal, because we begin again to wear all of the things that people have experienced and displaced and projected onto us. We don't want to be the people to give out the same thing that we have received from people when we did not know. A lot of things you just do not know. I didn't know that I was taking things so personal. I just knew I didn't like it. I took it personal. I was combative. I was disrespectful because I didn't like it. I wasn't able to articulate my emotions sometimes or what I was feeling. and other people weren't too. So that's why it's important as you maneuver through life in communication, in community with people, that you don't always be so reactive or irrational. A lot of times our reality is not what's in front of us. So that triggers our thoughts and our feelings, and sometimes they be false. A lot of times they be false because maybe this isn't a dangerous situation. Maybe they're just trying to express something to me. Why am I taking this the way that I'm taking it? Again, because I don't like it, we hold space for it. But we don't have to say, I don't like it, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to wear it for the entire week. No, somebody just saying something, it can sound crazy to us. It can sound stupid to us, idiotic, all of the things. But we don't have to change or transition who we are to meet the need of somebody else's opinion. That may be a fact to them, but it's nothing more than an opinion to us. So I don't take things personal because I know what projection looks like. I know what displacement looks like. I know what coming from different sides of the world from other people look like. You're going to meet somebody every day who thinks different than you. I don't eat chicken. You eat chicken. Who am I to tell you that you're wrong for eating chicken? You want to eat the chicken? Eat the chicken. Seriously, I don't eat chicken. So it's one of those things where a person will force you into believing that you're not eating chicken is wrong. Or me to force someone into that, you're eating chicken, it is extremely wrong. There may be peer-reviewed articles, journals, evidence may back this, but that came from somebody. I don't have to agree with it. You don't have to agree with anything that you don't want to agree with. And the more you seek, again, to understand just simple, we're just so different sometimes, and we can still coexist together, the less offense you will take. And if you do take offense, I don't like it, right? That's me taking something to offense, saying, I don't like that. It made me feel some type of way. Okay, I'm going to move out of it swiftly. I gave myself what I needed. I didn't try to suppress how I truly felt about a thing, a conversation, whatever that looked like. I allowed myself to say, I don't like this. I'm frustrated about this. I'm angry about this. But I didn't stay in that emotion longer than I needed to and allow it to trigger other things. And then for things to come up, and then it just goes downhill. So we don't take things personal, ever. But we don't have to like stuff. And we can be offended if we want to be offended. But we don't want to stay in it. Projection is real. Displacement is real. Your reality is your reality. It can look totally different from mine. It doesn't mean that we can't coexist together if everybody is open-minded to the differences and experiences that we have. And if we can get together and curate a space so that we can belong and exist in our space, our world that we can share together. You just don't take stuff personal. It's not worth it. You'll do yourself more damage than the opinion of somebody else could ever do. Because then you take that, you wear it, and you wear it every day, and you build on it. Now you got a whole wardrobe that was based on one opinion. Now you're looking at yourself in the mirror every day, hating what you see, thinking that maybe you're wrong for eating chicken. I don't know why I'm using that example, but it just felt appropriate and very simple to just recognize or relate to. So yeah, we don't take things personal. We know projection is real. We kind of self-reflect, right? We do all the things we need to do to ourselves to say, you know what? This is how I truly feel about this. I don't like this. I don't want this. And we just try to move forward from it. Don't take things personal at all. We use those opportunities to learn how we're going to show up in somebody else's life. Doesn't mean we have to run from people. Okay? So yeah, we're not taking nothing personal. We don't take things personal. We understand the differences that we have. We love in spite of. But I might gotta support you from outside of the yard though. You might not be my cup of tea. Maybe we can't coexist together. That's okay. So hopefully that was helpful as you maneuver through your week. Know that projection is real. Displacement is real. But you don't have to be in agreement with any of it, because your life is going to keep going on and people's opinions are going to keep going on as well. So you kind of decide what you want that to look like. So that's all I got for y'all this week. Just wanted to share that. So until next time, thank you for journeying through this sit down with me. Be safe and may grace continue to follow you.